We're going to talk about how to stay warm if you're not hot tenting and you don't want to spend an absolute fortune on gear. So this is everything that I personally use, and just keep in mind what I'm talking about here is really just how it's been working for me, but situations, body types, genders, all of that can contribute to warm. Another safety disclaimer here, all this is useless if you don't have a backup plan. So this is a satellite phone. Your phone also might have an SOS, but I like to always have at least a plan B, if not a plan C as well. Starting from the ground up, and probably the most important thing coincidentally is what you're putting underneath your body. Make sure that you're dry and you have a barrier between you and the ground. And there are a couple different ways of doing it. I'm just going to show you how I do it. I start off with a wool blanket. You can also use a tent, and you could also use a tarp. The downside to wool is that the next morning, if this ends up getting really wet, it's going to be very heavy to hike out. So keep that in mind. Next up, I think the R value on this is 3.8, but I'm not going to talk about R values. You can look into that for yourself and decide how aggressive you want to get on the R value. You can get up higher than 3.8. Even when I slept on that rock on -22, I didn't even feel the cold underneath me. It wasn't an issue at all. This sleeping bag is super underrated. What I'll do, and you'll see me do this in the videos, I will put this underneath my wool blanket. Okay, so you've got this. You've probably got it underneath the wool blanket. If you're using a tent, you're putting it in your tent. Next, you've got the sleeping bag. These do lose their loft over time. So with sleeping bags, and actually with these sleeping pads as well, you want to store them not like this. You want to open them up. I actually store my sleeping bags open like this, and I wrap it on this. Put everything I need in here so that when I need to go camping, I would just go grab all this out, and then I would stuff it into my bag. If you have a second sleeping bag like this one, you would put your down sleeping bag inside the synthetic sleeping bag like this. Now this seems kind of silly, but it does quite a bit to have these two sleeping bags here. Now let's talk from base layer and up. For me, I've always found it doesn't really matter what I wear for my base layer. So I'll have polyester and wool combination, works fine. Now the purpose of the base layer, it could be to keep you warm, but for me, I don't really need it to. This is a light base layer. I even wear this in the summer. It's just to regulate moisture. That's what this layer does. I'll pause here for a second. I'll mention that some people have said fishnets can help. So you can wear a fishnet underneath this, I think, and that could help you with moisture regulation. You can also go the opposite route, and you can use what's called a vapor barrier. And that's basically a thin layer of plastic between you and the rest of your clothing that you're wearing. I've never tried either of those, so I won't comment on them here. So next, fleece pants is what I use. That's going to trap quite a bit of heat. Same thing up here for a mid layer. If you need it, of some sort of fleece. The thing that's made the biggest difference for me is a down jacket with a hood. The hood is super important because with the sleeping bag, which I was talking about earlier, if you're using this collar around your neck and you're getting this really tight like that, you need something for your head. So that was one of the things that happened to me early on. I realized that I needed to have a hood because I had to actually throw a chemical body warmer in my hat to keep my head warm at night. Super important as well. It's very easy for you to lose heat through your feet. So I wear these down booties. I'll wear socks underneath them. Doesn't really matter what socks you're wearing as long as they're relatively dry. Otherwise your feet are going to get kind of gross in there because this is going to trap everything in. This can be pretty helpful, a buff and a hat. So that's what I wear in my sleeping bag. Sometimes, depending on how cold it is, I won't wear this mid layer at all. Or maybe I won't wear this down hood, right? I have a lot of options here to change things up and move things around. That's it for everything that I would wear if I was trying to stay warm and I was going down to -10, -15. Past that, I get a little nervous, and I bring these chemical body warmers just in case. Put one on my stomach and I put one on my back. Another thing you can do is you can fill up a single walled water bottle before you go to bed with hot water. Make sure it's single walled. It might be really hot when you first put the water in here. You can put it in a spare sock or wrap it in something because otherwise you actually might burn yourself. What I usually do is I throw it in the bottom of my sleeping bag and I just let it warm up my sleeping bag long before I ever have to get in there. So one thing I didn't mention, but using a tent can help to calm the air around you while you're sleeping. And it can increase the temperature a little bit at the risk of, if you don't vent your tent properly, it can end up very humid inside of your tent. Usually not the end of the world, but something to keep in mind. A couple other things you can do before you get to bed and throughout the night to keep yourself warm. So number one, make sure you eat a really good meal. You want your body metabolizing food and generating heat before you go to bed and throughout the night. Don't drink too much water because if you drink too much water, you're gonna have to get up to pee a lot at night, and that'll cause you to lose some of the progress you've made in trapping the heat in your sleeping system that you got here. If you have an EpiPen or any other medications that can't freeze, put them in your sleeping bag, put your boots in your sleeping bag. The nice thing about having two sleeping bags is what I'll do is I'll put my boots in between the two sleeping bags so that they don't bother me as much. So hopefully this was useful information. Hopefully I've shown you today how you can not spend too much money. Let me know in the comments what you're doing and what you think about this and what I missed. So thanks for watching. Let me know if you want me to do more of these how-to, I guess, videos where I talk about actual stuff and I don't just comment on whether or not I'm tougher than a goose or, I don't know, just hang out with my dog and eat Butterfingers and drink chamomile tea. But anyway, see you guys later.